guys, welcome to Mr. Ben's Coaching Wednesday Watts. I thought I'd talk to you briefly about ways to increase the torque, the power of the legs. The reason being is I did a first mountain bike race in 2 years, obviously with COVID and being injured, and I haven't done any interval training whatsoever, apart from a couple of sessions in the last 6 months. I've just been going out and enjoying cycling while I actually started cycling. Did the race, surprisingly did a lot better than I expected, but I knew in the race towards the end I had no leg strength. You know, I was all revs. I didn't have the torque to stay with the riders. I was getting dropped left, right and centre on some of the hills because I have no power in my legs. So I thought actually I'm going to go back to the drawing board of what's worked for me years ago. And if you're in the same boat that you've got your good base fitness, but you're lacking top end power or torque, which in mountain biking you need the torque because the revs are much lower, and if you road cycle you've got very steep hills, you're going to find yourself in a low cadence as well because you've got such a big gradient. So a couple of little tips I give you which work for me are stomps, where you are perhaps at the top of a climb or you're coming out of a corner. You do this seated and standing, where you're going to put a big gear up and then you're going to do probably 10 seconds where the gear is loaded up and you're activating the fast twitch muscle fibres and you're pushing a big gear. That will increase your torque, which will help sprint away from people and obviously attack these climbs better. So that's either way. And another good way of doing power work is off the bike is to do some strength and conditioning work, such as deadlifts, squats, lunges. If you use machine weights at the gym, you could do a leg press, a hamstring curl, a knee extension for the quads. They're all really important things to do. We're not looking at heavy, huge weight. We're looking at increasing the strength of the legs will create the torque. And as you know from previous little bits of summaries I've given you, revs and torque create a good foundation of fitness. You only look at people like Bradley Wiggins when he did the hour record, he had big gear and big revs equals big power. So if you haven't got the torque, you'll struggle to push a big gear. So for me at the moment, I'm all revs and no torque. So I've got to go back to the drawing board and do some of those stomp efforts on the turbo or out on the road. You can bring them in. How many do you do? Depends how fit you are. I'm going to start back by probably in an hour's session on the road. I should probably do between 8 and 12 repetitions just to start with. That's obviously a full effort with plenty of recovery. So maybe 5, 10, 15 seconds stomp. Doesn't need to be counted. You could do it sporadic. Give yourself at least 1 to 2 minutes recovery, cruising along, and then you'll start to see in the next 4 to 6 weeks the strength of the legs, and it will show if you're competing. Okay guys, I look forward to seeing you in the next session. Take care, bye bye.